I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it go. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 95 of the BJJ Campaign podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3, blue belt, 4 stripes.
Phil Coors, A2, blue belt, 4 stripes.
Gordon Ryan update.
There's none. He hasn't had a match yet.
Nobody's got the match this Friday. Today, as a matter of fact, when we're recording this, is the match.
Oh, it's today?
Yeah.
What time?
8, I think, is when the main card is. I did love what he said because, you know, people always hate on him on Instagram.
What if he loses?
I'm just going to go past that. So Craig Jones is the main event card with Ronaldo Jr. on that same card, right? And Gordon Ryan's the co-main with Jimenez, right? And they were like, his haters were like, hey, why aren't you the main card? I thought you were the number one grappler. He goes, the only reason I'm not the main card is because Craig Jones is a teammate and I like him. Therefore, I'm not knocking him off the main event card. But otherwise, I would be.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I'm really locked into my question.
What's the question?
What if he loses?
He doesn't lose.
What if he loses?
He's 55 matches he has not lost in 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't lose.
What if he loses? Does that make the other guy the best in the world to you?
No, but I'll then obviously start loving Roberto. I already do love Roberto Jimenez. So, no, it's not going to take over my crush. No, on Gordon Ryan. No, definitely not.
Like he just gets caught and it's 55.
So what? Everybody does. Well, almost everybody.
Yeah.
Not Gordon Ryan, though. Nope.
And it's not like a bullshit, questionable thing. It's just straight up just choked or just heel hooked or something. Caught.
Does not compute, Phil. It's going to be a quick match. Roberto Jimenez is very offensive. Mm-hmm. And he's great. He's fantastic. You know, like I said, to go back to episode, 92 or 93, whenever we did the 5 or 6 black belts that came on whenever we were at Pans, and listen to what he says. He's not one. He doesn't care about. He doesn't feel like it's a win to eke out a points win.
Yeah,
and that's the way he chooses to grapple. That's why I like him.
Well, I'm just questioning like where your loyalty goes.
Gordon Ryan.
If Gordon Ryan loses,
Gordon Ryan. I like Jimenez.
Yeah,
he's not going to win though.
Okay.
Well, I have egg on my face if this thing comes out after the fact and it's already done and over with.
No, it's going to come out right after this. I just load it up right away.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, no. I just thought maybe he loses because he's been lazy lately or something. I
think that the co-main and the main event are going to be 2 things. The most exciting matches that Who's Number One on Flow Grappling has ever seen, and the shortest matches that it's ever seen.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay, here's my prediction. Each match is under 2 minutes.
I don't see it happening. They always take so long.
Listen, you like to bet on Dogecoin and Bitcoin and all the other stuff. Let's make a little gentleman's bet here.
Think I made a Doge?
I'll bet a Doge on it. I'll bet a Doge on it. Wait, how much is Doge right now? Yeah, it's cheap. It's like 70 cents, right? On $1?
No way.
Or no, 4. What is it?
I don't know. Is that like 4 cents or something when it was really high?
Whatever. I don't know what it is. I got plenty of it, Phil.
I have dollars worth.
It's literally tens of dollars worth of it. That may be $5s worth or $100s worth at some point in time. But yeah, that's my prediction. Each match under 2 minutes. Or let's say this. I'm going to say this. Cumulatively, the 2 matches under 4 minutes.
Okay.
Gives me the most leeway.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're always longer when they have good people.
They're both good and they're both offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
The best offense, good defense.
oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the saying's the best defense, good offense. I don't remember. It's one of those. It's one of those.
That could be. It could be. Okay. Well, that is interesting. Interesting.
So
take.
Gordon Ryan's just saying he's not going to knock Craig Jones being off the main event.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's his pal. That's his training partner. Mm-hmm. Probably his main training partner, honestly.
Yeah. They're about the same size.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Gordon's 215. Craig's like 210, 215.
Do you think Gordon Ryan takes steroids?
Yeah. Sure.
I saw a picture of him where he was like the same height as I think a purple belt and just like super skinny.
Well, also, he's had really bad gut problems for gut biome problems for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. I've read about how he like pukes when he eats or whatever.
Yeah. And so, I think the steroids actually help with that too. I don't, but yeah, I think he's on steroids. I don't care. Mm-hmm. They're all on steroids. I mean, you don't think Galval's on steroids? Fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm sure they all are. I'm just curious.
Kyan Duarte, yeah, he's on all the steroids. Hodger Gracie, nope, not at all.
He's not very jacked.
No, he's not.
No, I watched like one of the MMA fights.
Not in a non-technical way, but
Yeah.
So interesting. I wonder. Lovato used to have to get tested. Oh, Joey's going to be mad if he listens to this. He doesn't listen anyway. I wonder if Lovato's now on steroids because he never could take them before with Bellator because USADA was testing them.
Yeah.
But he was still jacked.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's on PRP and the stem cells, though. I can tell you that.
Everybody's on that.
Yeah.
It's popular now.
Did I start that movement?
Probably. I think you invented PRP.
I did not invent PRP. I did take it 4 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It just seems,
Is that performance enhancing for your knees?
Hopefully.
It was for me.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be nice if they could fix it without the surgeries because it's never right after surgery.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Feels like you got one shot at the surgery, man. I'd rather have a few of those PRP and stem cell shots, even if it only lasted. I mean, it's lasted me now 3.5 years. Even if it just lasted that long, if I had to go in for another one tomorrow.
What was wrong with your knee when you got the shot?
It was more inflammatory changes, arthritic changes. So it was whenever I was sitting down after training, I literally couldn't straighten my leg. If I sat down for 10 minutes after training, I literally couldn't straighten my leg. It hurt really, really bad. So yeah, whenever I did that, it took probably 3 months. And it was after the first month, it was like 50% better. And then it just got like 25% better the next month, 25% better the following month. So it was like, it felt really, I didn't even realize how bad it had hurt for so long, to whenever I finally started being able to use it again, and you could notice a disparity in my right and left leg, because of it, which I thought was interesting too.
I've been getting like a weird, like right behind the cap, just like in some positions, it'll just feel like all of a sudden I'll be in the same position for like 10 seconds and like 5 seconds in, somebody stabs me with a knife right behind my kneecap and then it goes away.
That doesn't sound like it's a
I just don't.
healthy type thing.
It's just like 1 second of shooting pain and then it goes away and I'm like,
I think you severed your ACL.
It's terrible, but it's gone and then it doesn't come back again. It's just so weird. Like once a week.
When do you get it? Like when is it?
Last time I was in the mount with you, it just was like somebody stabbed me in the leg and then it just went away.
Well, that's because I was carrying my knife at the time. Stabbed your leg and got out of my
Escaped. That's right. That's a good escape.
Let's talk about your new love of half guard, Phil.
I hate half guard.
Okay. Oh, sorry. That's my love of half guard.
Yeah, half guard sucks.
What are you doing? So you're just ignoring it to address the problem?
No, I'm just admitting that I suck at it, and I don't like it. But I'm there a lot, losing. Yeah. But they went over. Nick Spirito came in and did a special class for us, which was cool. And he showed a cool back take and a sweep that seemed really easy during class and not so easy afterwards. And
yeah.
I was like, during class, I'm like, I don't know why I don't do this more often. And then rolling, I was like, this is why I can't do it.
But it's so funny because whenever I was rolling with Nick at the end, and folks, top tip here, if you're not doing this whenever you're going to class and practicing the moves, that's the time to practice them, because that's when it's fresh in your mind from when you got the lesson to when it's fresh in your professor's mind to answer any questions about it. And so every roll, I'm trying to work on those things. Admittedly, it's probably harder because they're looking for it then, but I tried to get that one back take on Nick, and man, I thought, shit, I got this, and then I kind of gave up on it. And after the roll, he's like, why did you give up on it? You had he's like, yeah, I was off balance, you should have done it. And I was like, again, coming back to that, just having faith in the move, and I do this, I'm realizing it now more often than not, especially like today on that choke with you from the half guard stuff. I realized that I just abandoned stuff because for no real good reason. I feel like I like doing it. I don't mind doing it, but I feel like I have to stop doing that. What?
I'm just seeing where you go with this.
I think that's something that I can improve on in my game, is that I can be more stubborn with some things, trying to finish, trying to execute, try to get it done instead of just give up and go on to the next thing. But then again, I'm torn on it because I think giving up and going on to the next things helps you link things together. So I don't know what the right thing is.
It's hard. That's what I was going to say. I wanted to see where you're going to go with it, because like I am on the other side where I chase things too long.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which is just, I think I just learned backwards from you of like the really long, slow way of like to really know when I don't have it and to when to transfer. So now I think like there's certain positions that I'll transfer back and forth with. I know I don't have something and I'll cycle between a few things that I kind of tie together. But then there's other positions where people have been like, Nick has said it to me, like when I'm chasing a choke on the back, he's like, yeah, once I'm at a certain position, you have to let it go. But on the flip side, I've finished like chokes from similar spots. They're nowhere near as good as Nick, obviously, but like, so it's like how long do you chase it before you have to transition? And I don't know. I think that just comes with experience of knowing when you're going to lose it and where you want to go.
Well, today, when you almost abandoned that choke that almost put me out, like you almost abandoned that choke and it was super, super tight, and I do that same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't delineate the clear line. I don't think there are clear lines on it, on when to move on.
I think it, yeah, I don't know, but like I know when I'm on the back, or if I'm in that position, like with the Kimura grip on the back, where I cycle between the Kimura and then a couple collar chokes and a head and arm choke, like because I so clearly know where I want to go, no matter what you do, it's easy for me to transition. When I don't know where I want to go, I don't want to transition as easily.
Maybe that's the answer.
But I think when
we should
you don't know
more things from every position.
Well, that's how you become a submission magician, is to know more things like that.
Touche.
So,
touche.
And me and Patrick were talking about how you just keep saying things like abracadabra, ashi salami every time you submit somebody, like you're a magician. It's getting weird.
Well,
So,
that's my game. Can't help it.
but I think you're when you don't know if it's working or you don't know, maybe you just have a better idea where you want to go positionally. And that's why you're more comfortable just letting go the submission and go to a different position. And I want to hang on to it and figure out longer. I'd rather chase the submission longer through moving my body around, but keeping my hands in place.
I think that's a good idea because you positionally, then you have more familiarity from everywhere with it, but I just can't help but not care if I get the submission as long as I keep the dominant position.
Yeah. And I'm that way in that like dominant position with the Kimura, I guess, like in that like kind of back where I'm always at. Like I always end up there.
So we've just got to obsess about every position like we have the back and the Kimura position.
Probably. I mean, I would imagine after long enough, you know where you want to go from everywhere.
Yeah, but not all positions are as fun as those positions. Some of them are more boring.
Maybe they'd be more fun if you were better at them.
Stupid. But right.
I think I don't know. The back always seems the best for me because like it's the most fun.
Duh.
So
it's the most dominant position. Yes. The back's the funnest.
Well, I guess going back to what I liked about what Nick showed in the half guard and then John showed Wednesday and then again Thursday morning is just different ways from half guard to get to the back. So it's taking the position I don't like, which is the same thing I did in the close guard, just taking the position I don't like or I don't have success in and showing efficient avenues to the place I do want to go. And I think having some better ideas of where I'm trying to go helps open up other attacks. It's funny, I was talking about sweeping with Rob today, who's newer, and he was going over flower sweep and scissor sweep and was repping them a couple times. And I was like, it's just really hard to do the sweeps when people are just sitting there. Like you kind of need the movement somewhere to make something happen. And I don't know, I feel like I didn't put that together for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think
because I feel like when I was really struggling with sweeping people, when I was talking about it like week after week, like I can't sweep anyone. It's like I was always looking for that like textbook, like
grips,
scissor sweep.
Textbook grips, textbook foot position, everything's good. Boom, it sweep. You get a mount.
Because that's how I learn, and like that's how I would try to put it in action, basically. And it like doesn't work that way for me. Like I don't get that sweep. I don't think that many people do. Like, and then creating the movement and then just looking for different cues to just knock someone over is a lot easier.
Yeah, I think that awareness and the constant Kazushi.
Yeah, constant Kazushi constantly.
but really, I mean that is absolutely what it is. And you think about it. I mean, and John says it too. We practice these movements, try to practice them with perfect technique. I mean, 90% of the time I get that, 5% of the time. So that is not how you're going to get it when you're rolling. And he even says it, this might work if you get 30% of this or 40%. It might work if they're off balanced, if they're, if you set it up nicely enough, or if they've set themselves up. I mean, dude, there's a lot of people who just sweep themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, of course. Everybody did. And, you're just holding on and they're just like, oh, you just swept yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens. It's kind of happens after the spaz stage in white belt. Mm-hmm. And you just find yourself sweeping yourself all the time. But there's nothing wrong with that. You're figuring out what the balance points are. You know, that's what you got to figure out.
Yeah.
Probably coinciding with trying to pass. You know, they do that knee in the middle trying to pass thing. And man, for me, admittedly, that's one of the hardest positions for me is that knee in the middle trying to pass thing. Because I don't feel like you have a great base unless you're turning the knee out and getting it in their knee and really, you know, have good active toes. That's a tough position.
Mm-hmm. Thought you were gonna keep going there.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
I don't either. I don't do it most of the time. Although I've been trying to do it more because it's, you know, those items are items in the fundamental stuff, and we have to kind of know it, and we have to, you know, be able to demonstrate it, be able to try to do it at least somewhat proficiently.
Mm-hmm. I've been talking, another thing that people are asking, because they ask about those things, so like how, like to open the guard or whatever. I've been working on guard a lot, so then they ask like how they open the guard. And the amount of times that like the funny look I get when I'm like, I just wait for people to do something when I'm waiting to open the guard. Like I just kind of, that's a big part of like how I open it. Like if I either stand up, if they don't do anything, I try to stand up. But it's so much easier for me, I feel like I just kind of wait. And when they open something, then I go.
I like to stare at them intently.
Yeah, I know you do.
You know, if I stare at them intently enough, it feels like I'm doing that mind meld, the Vulcan mind meld. Like, open your guard. And then they just open their guard.
Yeah.
I'm like, bam.
But like 2 or 3 people kind of looked at me and be like, I just feel like I got to be doing something. I'm like, yeah, you kind of do. But also you don't. You know, like you can be doing something without doing too much. But I don't know. It's another thing you got to play with. But it's just funny that I'm realizing that's something I do without thinking about that being something I do.
Yeah.
And it's just waiting on them to open the guard, and whichever way they open it, I'll go that way.
Yeah.
But it's just funny.
No, it's so true.
A recent conversation I've had. So
yeah, it's very true. That is funny.
because forcing it open is really hard. I mean, it's
not a winning proposition.
I mean, people have success with me when they force it open because I'll try to hold it locked closed too long, and that's why I'm trying to work on it. It's because I'm not comfortable there. So
yeah, the key to that is whenever they try to force it open, you open it on your own terms. I mean, that's I mean, that's.
Well, I've been trying to attack the timing of that knee in the middle timing over and over again, either with an arm drag or with the flower sweep. And it's like now I'm finally getting a little bit of not even sweeps, but like I'm finally getting people off balance with attacking the flower sweep to then just create something. But I think sweeping is the hardest part, other than mount cross choke that I'm not convinced works. Is sweeping is the hardest part of jiu-jitsu.
No, mount cross choke definitely is the hardest part.
It's so hard.
It's so disappointing sometimes, my execution of it. Sweeping, not so much. I like sweeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. It can be tough. And you know what? It's much tougher whenever the people are bigger and stronger than you. I don't really
run into too many of those.
Yeah.
So can't really relate there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could see that being a problem for some people.
Just not you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Phil because, I mean, I feel like it's well documented, but you're one of my favorite training partners. I like the way we train together. I truly enjoy whenever you catch me in something that I have no idea what's going on in. I truly enjoy that. And I feel like you do. You're the same in that respect with me, but we give and take, right? Whenever we're training, like if I know what you're working on most of the time, right? And I give the positions in those positions, I'm going to try to defend it like hell, right? But it makes me better and it makes you better because you see what the defense is. But just like I finally freaking figured out that X guard today. Like I finally figured out what I got to do on that with the sit. And you told me the first day, it was what Steve Hall said, which was sitting back on it and, and kind of stalemating out of it, or, trapping that arm and looking for a wrist lock so that, they want to be out of that position. But what makes us be able to do that with each other and not everyone else? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking the question.
Yeah, I think because we know and we talk about it so much, like the things that we're currently trying to figure out, that like it's just more fun. I don't know, because even like Roland, I was like, "What are you working on?" He's like, "Well, we just went over a series of deep half guard," and I was like, "All right, cool. So just keep putting me in that." And so he swept me like 10 times in a row, but I don't really care because it's like that's a position that I'm not good at. So it's like I learned the hard way. Like if you tell me what to do, I'm gonna look at you, I'm gonna nod my head, and then I'm gonna like just do whatever I want to do anyway. And then like afterwards I'll put it together, like as I think back on it.
And then you'll be like, "Hey, look what I figured out."
Yeah, I got this great idea.
"Yeah, that's what I told you."
So that reminds me because all right, so along the same lines, I'm working on the open guard, and like as you're passing my guard, I'm trying to ask questions because you're just a lot better at the open guard than I am, and I'm asking about the signal leg X entry of how I'm sliding in, and you're like, "Yeah, you don't want to slide in, you want to off balance them, take the weight off the leg, shoot up, and then use your other leg as a frame, so I can't just mount you right away." And you go through this explanation that we've both seen taught before, like, and I know this, and I know how to do it. And so we slap hands, and I immediately again just shoot right under you. You just look at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
And I immediately mount you right there.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I just fucking panicked. Thought you were gonna pass my guard, so I just shot in and fucking, just did it wrong. That was just straight up panic right there. It's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna pass." Just fucking, that's not it. That's not the move. So, that's how I learned. That was funny. But anyway, so I like, and I used to do it with Joe. Like when I was first learning how to pass the guard, Joey just swept me over and over and over again.
Sure.
And I don't know. There's certain people that I know that I see all the time that like, no matter what I do, I always end up in the same couple positions just because like that's what I'm working on right now, or that's just what I gravitate towards. Like winning or losing, I seem to end up in the same handful anyway. So if I roll and train with a person all the time, not that it gets boring, but it's like kind of repetitive. So forcing myself to be in another spot, I don't know. Like I don't mind losing like that. Like I don't mind getting swept 40 times in 5 minutes. Sure. Like if you're working on a sweep and I'm working on defending it, like that's just how I try to figure it out. I don't. Like I laugh half the times when I get swept because like it's the same thing again, and I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And listen, I'm not saying that there aren't attributes about every training partner that we have that are very similar in that respect to what we're doing, but like overall, it's like you and Dan Bailey's. Like we always get into a lot of positions, and it's just like fun. Like it's playing jiu-jitsu. It's fun and I feel like it's fun for both of us, whenever we're doing that stuff.
Well, and I've had a lot more success with like the play style of not trying so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like how I've been able to train like a little bit more of being able to do 2 days a few times a week. Mm-hmm. And it's like literally the only reason I can is because I don't fight for stuff that much. Like if I'm like getting past, it's okay kind of a lot more than it was before. Like I'm still trying, but like it's definitely more of a relaxed style. And I think that's just being comfortable with people.
Your training partner.
Yeah.
What do you do if that's not the case with a lower belt, right? If they're not doing it, what do you do? What do you, like, if they're maybe a little bit overzealous in there?
That's what I have been doing. It's just whatever happens. Like there's new people that come up and like they try to stack pass right away because it's a common, the Gracie pass is very commonly taught.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So that's everybody's first reaction. So if they're getting it, like I can tell like my neck starts to hurt from fighting the stack pass. Like I can sit in there and training and like it doesn't hurt at the time, but then like the rest of my day is a little jacked up. So it's, whatever. Like if they get underhooked a leg, then I was too late and I should have done 4 other things before I tried to defend it from my knee and my face. So it's just, for me, that's kind of how it's been. And I guess that's the other good thing about having longer rounds with newer people is it's like, if you go all out to submit me the first time in 30 seconds and we still have 4.5 minutes left, like I'm getting right up and we're going to continue. So like,
back to your mantra of you're not losing and getting tired.
Being tired. Right. Yeah.
I like that.
But it's like, we're going to continue. So, this isn't life or death. So if you expend everything in 30 seconds to, quote unquote, not die, I mean, I understand that mindset, I guess, of like a self-defense perspective where it's like, do or die, but like, we're not really doing that. So, keep going. And then the time can kind of wear people down.
More difficult question. What about if an upper belt is going too hard, maybe applying submissions too hard, maybe doing something? What's your reaction then? Because that happens, right? I mean, sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Tap early.
Yep. That's a good one.
That's about it.
That's about it. You don't say anything to him? No.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like there's more of a discussion in that area. I feel like it has to come with time and with building a relationship with people, but I don't know. I don't know what the right answer to those questions are, but hopefully everyone out there has got great training partners that they can always go to. I know we do. I know we do. And listen, if you're one, if you identify with any of these negative training partner type scenarios, and just make yourself better, I mean, that being aware of it is kind of what it is. And guess what? If you don't say anything, like if you don't, it doesn't have to be an asshole. And I'm not talking about like if somebody submits you and you get pissy about it, that's stupid. I mean, that's just stupid. But if, I'm older and I'll say it. I don't mind it. If somebody puts something on hard, I'm going to tap early first off. If they put it on hard, I'm going to be like, dude, I'm in here trying to train and not be off the mat for months at a time.
Right.
I mean, if it means a lot to you, then maybe I'm going to take a break from rolling with you for a little while. If it means that much to you, but I'm going to let them know, because if they don't know, then they can't understand that, if there's people avoiding training with them, they can't understand that. So I feel like you have to, in a positive way that's not driven by ego. I mean, I don't feel like, I mean, everybody in there has tapped me, all the upper belts have tapped me hundreds, if not thousands of
I've been caught once or twice myself.
times. I mean, so it's like, what, you might be frustrated. You're like, damn, I saw that coming, whatever. That's fine. Whatever. It's no big deal. That's no big deal. But if somebody pulls something cheeky on you or gets a wrist lock and you need to do the Bernardo Fria.
Me and Pete were talking about the other day, because like one of those half guard sweeps that John was showing, and it's like, and he's just like, those are the worst. Like when you're getting swept and like you have enough time to basically be like, God damn it.
And
as you're rolling over and slowly falling, nothing you can do about it. And it's just, God damn it.
I did that to Patrick the other day, and I did it extra slow too. It was like 5 seconds. Yeah. Sweet. It was actually I think it was actually that Russian one from half guard that we learned, because you can do that super slow and they're not going anywhere with that.
And that's the same as what John showed from like a side control escape too. Right? Same idea. Yeah. I don't see that opportunity enough, like in real time.
That side control escape with that Russian is just the Peterson roll from wrestling. I mean, it's one of the most rudimentary escape reversals to get in a really good position in wrestling. So that's something that I actually really like doing. That was one of my moves that I really like doing. So I used to see that all the time. That's fun. What else makes a good training partner, Phil?
Oh, I don't know. Just
good hygiene. Don't wear stinky gi.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a bad training partner if they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just showing up and having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because at the end of the day, man, if you don't have a smile on your face leaving there, I'm sure everybody has those days. What was it, the meme that whenever it says that you're driving it home with the radio off, just thinking about how bad you are? I'm sure everybody has those days, but those are so few and far between, It's like, I don't even remember the last time I don't.
Yeah, it still happens to me. Like, I'll have a shitty class. Like,
yeah,
sometimes stuff gets shown and I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, lately. I don't know. I always put myself in really bad spots. Like, I'm always, like, it's not hard to find them, but, like, always trying to work on the thing I'm not good at. So, like, I'm putting myself in the guard a lot, and I don't. Like, I told people as I was getting ready to compete, it's like, if I'm in the guard, I'm losing. It happened. I lost. Like, I knew that ahead of time. Like, that's the weakest spot for me. That should be better, and it's not. And I'll just keep putting myself there until I figure some stuff out. But I don't know. It goes back to, like, I just have fun. I have fun losing. It's the whole, like, even if, like, Roland swept me, like, 10 times in a row in, like, 3 minutes. I don't care. That's the same thing I'm trying to do stand up with you, where it's like I'm terrible at that. And I did the same thing with Talise. And it's funny too, because like we're not trying very hard and we're not going hard with the takedowns. But like Talise took me down like 3 times the same way. And it's fine. But then he goes to show me the takedown and like do it slow and shit. And then like that's when falling hurts. Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't even care to learn anymore.
Right.
Like, let me just do it and just take me down over and over again, because that hurts less than like these demonstrations. Like, just keep doing it.
Right.
Because like I'm just gonna approach it the same way I did guard passing at first, where it's like I'm never gonna be great at this. Let me just figure out enough things to know when I'm in trouble. Because then I can start. Then I can figure things out. Yeah. But like I don't even understand when I'm in trouble standing up. Like when you were talking about the head thing, what was the head thing? Something to do with a double leg? Like when you like fake down?
Yeah.
Like I don't remember what that was, but it was something so basic. You were like, I didn't even realize you didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things
like
that you take for granted that whenever you do something for a really long time, you just forget. Like, and it's so weird because with jiu-jitsu, you almost have to remember those things. You almost have to remember those little things, But with wrestling, I don't. Maybe it's just because I know it's not true. Because we were always teaching each other in wrestling too, So yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it just was because I was so far removed from it. I just didn't. I do it instinctually, but not from a. I don't even realize it sometimes. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I tell you what I just realized, and then you're always a little blown away that it was like not something I knew yet.
Right.
Like it's just not something I did.
Yeah. No, I take for granted that. Like I think I take for granted. Like I always think, well, whatever I know, they probably know. You know what I mean? And it's not true.
Well, I think, and when John is showing a technique or something, there's usually something I'm waiting to hear about it. Like, all right, well, this is why I fail this. So like, I'm going to try to see again how he addresses that, so I'm like looking for my problem with the move at the moment. Like, I'm trying to pay attention overall to everything he's saying, but like if I'm failing the flower sweep over and over again, I'm looking for like, how does he deal with the reason that I'm failing it? Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the burning question in my head as I watch it. So like,
and usually it's do the technique better or do the setup better, and the technique will work.
so if there's 5 parts of the technique, like I can do 4 of them. I just take those for granted. But like the 5th part's the reason I'm failing. That's what I'm focused on. So that's, you know, that I could see why you would take 4 things for granted and not realize that I didn't understand those.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I think that's kind of what happens. But with takedowns, like I've never done it. Patrick was joking around because he was watching me and Talise, and Patrick's like, it's so funny to watch you just walk around with like the carelessness of someone who's never grappled, because like I'm crossing my feet up, back and forth, just reaching out. And he's like, you just walk around. He's like, you're tapping your foot for some reason. I was like, I don't even know I do that. But he's like, you cross your feet. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know when I'm in trouble, but like, I'd rather learn it just by getting taken down.
Yeah.
Cause it seems like it hurts less than like drilling those
No, I know,
like
man.
throws
You're
and
right.
stuff. I just don't.
You're right. You're right. That's why it's fun to like, you know, to do that. To do just like flow wrestling is freaking, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Flow wrestling is fun. You know, I mean, and you get into the takedowns, you know, the turns, everything. It's really fun to do that. But in order to chain wrestle or flow wrestle, they call it chain wrestling whenever you do it in the wrestling room. You know, you have to kind of have a baseline to do that. So that's what makes it tough. You know?
Well, that was my argument against flow rolling back when I was making the argument against that. Is like, I didn't know enough things. Mm-hmm. Like I would only end up in a certain spot. And at a certain point, like my defense is pushing you and trying to like push you.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work and it's not the right idea, but like, if you don't know better, it's hard to go slow because my list of techniques was like 3 techniques long.
Yeah.
And they ran out really fast.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you flowed the hell out of those 3 techniques. So.
And we blew past A, B, and C, and now I don't know where to go. So it turns into effort. I'm going to try to effort out of that. So
never the answer.
But, you know, and I think that's why another reason we can train easily with each other is like if I stop and I'm looking at what's happening and trying to think of like what's going to happen if I do 1, 2, or 3 things, you kind of also wait and see. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
like, and the other part of it is knowing we both know what happens if we both give it 100%. Like there's no question in where we stand. We all know that. So like you even said it today. I said, pass the way, because I was working on the half guard. I said, pass the way you always pass. And you're like, I don't want to.
Right.
Because it's not fun, because we know the answer to this story. We've seen this movie. I passed the guard, you know, and there's truth to that. And I do the same thing when I'm in your position. I try to work on other things because I know this one, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the key. And that is the key for everyone to benefit from it, right? Is that you try stuff that you're not good at, man. And put yourself in that awkward position to where you're able to get swept, and then congratulate them for sweeping you or doing whatever, or submitting you, or like, good job, and mean it, because I mean, that's what we're there to do, is get better. And if you do that same happy path all the time, well, you might be honing that edge, but you're not honing any other edges.
And, you know, it gets to the point where I have to tell you to try, because I'm working on mine, because I know my half guard sucks. Mm-hmm. So I want you to do what you're good at, and I want to see where it's at against what you would normally do. Mm-hmm. You know, and I know it's going to fail, but I need to see where and why.
Sure. No, I get it.
It makes it against other people better, you know, but I think that, and the fact that I feel like I can say that, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of people I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's most people. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do.
You're not going to talk to most people, so yeah.
That's true too. But, you know, with you, you know, we can try to guide and to try to, because we also both know that we're just trying to get better as fast as possible, and that's how the best I know how to do it. I mean, if I knew a better way, I'd be doing it differently. This is the only way. That's the only way I know.
mean, of course, we're wrong on all of this. I mean, I think we got to point that out to everyone. I mean, listen, folks, if you're looking to us for guidance, we're stupid blue belts. We don't even know what the hell we're doing. We've done this cumulatively 7.5 years, 8 years, whatever, and we really know nothing. But we enjoy talking about it, so we're going to keep doing so. And if you're listening and you enjoy it, good, thanks. But just, we might be hurting your game instead of helping it. I don't know.
Part of my strategy.
Good point, Phil.
Playing the long game. Playing the long game.
Point.
Bunch of terrible advice.
All right, Philly, let's wrap this up. Tell the folks, if they choose to do so, how they can support us.
They can share the hilarious TikTok that I sent to you, and I'll post in the group later. It's the funniest TikTok ever. I don't know how you don't think it's funny.
It's terrible.
That's my new self-defense move.
Okay. It's terrible.
It's hilarious.
No.
And
your choice,
shout
your
out to
taste
Patrick.
in TikTok is awful.
George really showed up Patrick in the recent meme wars when he showed up and did a much better meme, much faster than Patrick. Patrick came back strong though with the submission magician, which I was bummed I didn't even catch that like in real time. But listening back that joke, I missed it, but it was funny.
I didn't either. It was pretty understated in that, but yeah, I got you.
But yeah, that was good. But I'll put the TikTok in. That's hilarious that you just don't seem to appreciate.
Okay, well, yeah, I feel like most people are going to be on my side on this. It's just really cheesy.
I don't think they will.
But anyway, yeah, like, share. Hey, if you really like the podcast, go on Apple Podcasts and give us a review. Or if you really hate it, do the same. Again, I've said it before. We do this for us, not for you.
True.
And if you're not out there trying to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.